guys, it's Horsey Stuff and we are back with yet another Horse Trainer Reacts video. Today we are going to be reacting to Black Beauty. If you could leave a comment down below letting me know what you think of this series or any suggestions you have of what to react to, that would be great. Also go ahead and hit that like button while you're at it and subscribe for more videos. And let's dive right in. So why are they standing right at the horse's hindquarters? And clearly he is still living in the horse trailer. It just does not make sense to me that he's there. I imagine even this vet might have a better option of somewhere to take the horse. It's really not that hard to find a place to take a horse. You can contact horse people, call in favors, etc., etc. There should be somewhere this horse could go. It shouldn't be here for any length of time. And why are they just standing around his hindquarters for no reason?
This screw, it's bent.
Alright, so the horse also has an injury. I'm not an expert at x-rays, certainly, but it looks like those screws, they look much too big for anything I have seen. That would have been a catastrophic injury if you really needed to go all the way through the joint. Anyway, I'm pretty sure they took an x-ray and just laid screws on top of the horse to show that there were screws in the horse's leg. And that screw being bent, if in fact they had done surgery on this horse and then that screw had gotten bent at some point while the bone was still healing, the horse would be extremely lame on it. You would know that you had a really severe issue. That wouldn't be something coming up in kind of a routine. Is everything okay with this horse we just rescued? You would know there were major issues with that horse's leg, and you would x-ray it right away to see what exactly it is, because he would probably be non-weight bearing on it. It would be swollen like a balloon. That would be kind of something you would think, oh, emergency, I need a vet out right away. X-ray, ultrasound it, figure out what's going on. That to me should have been a much bigger issue than the spur rubs.
The reality is, you'll have to be put down. Under other circumstances, given adequate time, a couple months or...
I could certainly see with a broken leg that being a possibility. With a bent screw, it seems more like you just need to remove the screw and put something back in that's better. The bone itself didn't look like it was catastrophically broken, so I'm not sure why he would be recommending euthanasia for something that just seems like it needs a screw replaced, or maybe repositioned slightly from where it is now.
But here in the city, we just don't have budgets to handle something like this.
Alright, so we're back to, oh, we're in the city, so we can't handle this. Again, it's craziness. Absolute ridiculousness. There is no way that you would put this horse down just because you are in a city and can't handle a fractured fetlock in the city. You take them to a vet hospital, the vet hospital deals with it. That is what any animal shelter is going to do. They are not going to try to deal with something like this in-house. The only animal shelters that deal with any kind of surgical issue in-house are the ones that have vets on staff, and those are typically just small animal vets. Large animals would be sent out in every single case, and it would stay at the hospital or at a rehab center until the horse is better. They rescued the horse, they're not going to put it down just because it has an injury. That's not how shelters work. That goes way beyond the whole like no-kill shelter versus kill shelter. Any shelter is not going to put an animal down with a recoverable injury just because it needs some surgery or something more intense in rehab. And the horse being in this shelter in the first place is completely ridiculous. So again, it shouldn't be here. So now there's a horse trailer outside her bedroom first thing in the morning. Alright, so she called her grandfather because she wanted her grandfather to help her save this horse that the shelter, I guess, was gonna euthanize again. I already went into why that's ridiculous. I guess her grandfather drove over and picked up the horse and is gonna take it back with him. So that's pretty cool. The situation they have with the horse here is interesting. They have him tied in the trailer facing the back. I'm assuming they did that for ease of filming. but I don't know why you would do that. This is like an open stock trailer. I would think you would haul the horse loose for safety reasons. You don't really want the horse tied somewhere where it could skid and slip around without any dividers to catch it. Were you to get into a wreck or something, it's more likely to break its neck being tied in an open loose trailer. Sometimes people will tie them up at the front as if they had dividers in the trailer, even if they don't. But tying the horse in the middle of the trailer seems super weird. It actually looks perhaps like the rope is just thrown over the edge of the trailer. Just maybe somebody's holding the horse there, or they've pretended to tie it just so the horse is quiet for the sake of the filming. But interesting setup. And he's actually cross-tied, which is also really intriguing and not what you would expect in a horse trailer. I do cross-tie my horses in my big head-to-head trailer. It's set up to be cross-tied. There's nothing in front of them to straight tie them to. In my 2-horse, I straight tie because there is a wall in the front. Makes it really easy to straight tie to. But I've never ever seen somebody cross-tie all the way across the stock trailer like this, or any big open trailer. I don't think there's any reason to. It doesn't seem like a particularly good method of tying a horse in a trailer, because it does allow them a lot of motion still, while also still having the risk of being tied. If you're going to tie, you want to reduce motion. If you're not going to tie, cross-tying is still tying. So, seems like an odd situation. Alright, so I guess she's going to spend the summer with the grandfather with the horse. He looks super happy just hanging out in the trailer. I mean, they've done a good job of trailer training this horse, because he's super excited to just be in the trailer all the time. Alright, so they've been driving along. I guess he's going to take a little rest here. He's just pulled off of the highway in some random place. Maybe he knows it. I don't know it though, so seems random to me. He's going to take a little nap. He probably has been driving quite a while if he drove straight there in the morning, picked up the horse, and then got her, and now they're driving back. So it is a lot of driving. I could see why you might get tired and want to take a little break. Totally possible. I don't think I'd want to stop in the middle of nowhere. I would probably be stopping at a gas station or like a fast food restaurant, get something to eat. I've done lots of long distance trailering and trailering cross country, and that's what I would always do. I would take a little rest, get something to eat, and then get back on the road. So I'm not sure why he's picked the middle of nowhere. If he's really been driving that long, you'd think he'd want access to a restroom and perhaps food, water, something. I mean, it's a long time to sit in the car without access to any of those things if you're so tired that you need a rest. The other interesting thing about this movie is that she never packed anything to go with her grandfather for the summer, and it sounds like she's going to be there for the entire summer. So maybe they just skipped over that, didn't think it was important, yet they did think it was important to show him driving the trailer across highways for an obnoxiously long time. So again, things just not really adding up in this movie. I feel like they've skipped over important details and then left in details that don't matter at all and take up lots of time. She is going to go check on the horse while he stops. Seems really logical. I would be checking on my horses every time I stopped, because why not? You might as well. Just make sure everything is okay. If you look at how this trailer is riding with the truck, it's slanted up in the front, and then the truck is of course level. You should never ever haul this way. It is extremely dangerous. Hitches are not made to be like this, so you're putting extra torque and pressure on the hitch. Could result in some catastrophic failure. You always want to make sure your trailer is riding completely level. If this is a very easy solution, because this is a bumper pull, you can either lower the truck, so then that will all lower down to even, or if you don't want to lower the truck, you can put a drop hitch on the truck, so the truck is still up here, like the trailer was here, drop the hitch, so that the trailer still rides level, and that is perfectly acceptable as well. There are certain weight ratings for dropped hitches, so not every trailer can use them, but this is a small, 2-horse stock trailer, probably, maybe 3-horse, and they are only hauling 1 horse right now, so very doable to put a drop hitch on the truck and have that ride level. It's a lot safer. It's also going to be more comfortable for the horse, so he's kind of sliding into the door consistently because he's on such a slanted surface. Just a little sidebar, I'm not sure why they didn't hitch this up correctly and level. Seems like an easy detail to fix in film. And they have this cool little sliding door on this trailer. That's because it's a stock trailer. My 2-horse also has this door. It's actually not a feature of a horse trailer at all, but common with cattle trailers and other open stock trailers, so that you can let livestock out just one at a time, opening the sliding door, versus when you open the whole side of the door, it swings open, and then they're all going to come out in a bunch. You can slide it and just have one at a time, or put them in a narrow pen. It can make it a little easier for unloading livestock depending on what kind of fashion you want them to be unloaded in and what you're doing with them next. And they do now have the horse tied in the back of the trailer, so again, don't love the idea of tying in a stock trailer like this that's nice and open, but certainly tying in the back made sense if they wanted to put the hay bag in the back, and she can open the door and just check on the horse and see his face right away. So I can see why you might tie to the back of the trailer like that for just ease of filming, and makes it really easy to open that door, say hi to the horse. But in real life, real world applications, I'm not sure why you would want to tie to the back of the trailer like that. Alright, so they do have somebody that helps out on this farm. You can see here he's feeding or something. So I'm not sure why they were so concerned about the grandfather having to do all the work with this horse. If they have somebody that's already there helping out with all of the farm chores, it's really not going to be that intense. Whatever the grandfather might specifically have to do himself, he has both his granddaughter there to help out with the horse, but also he has this farm boy that can do like the feeding, the mucking, all of that kind of laborious stuff. So I just don't know why there was such a fuss earlier about the grandfather and needing to be in a physical place where he could do all this work of taking on one extra horse. Alright, so they're gonna go ahead and back up to the barn, and she's just helping her grandfather back up. Certainly something that could happen, although I would guess if he really drives a trailer around a lot, he's really good at it. He probably doesn't need her help backing up at all. I'm not exactly sure why they're backing the trailer into the barn. I'm gonna assume it's for this whole perceived idea that Beauty doesn't like the sunlight, that they are backing up to the barn to avoid the sunlight, so it's from a dark area straight to a dark area. And there's nothing wrong with backing into where you're going to put the horse. It's certainly something I have done with horses that I know are going to be difficult to lead. Maybe they're not halter broke, or they're young, they're wild, etc. Can be a little bit easier to back in just to avoid some of the trauma or drama of unloading a horse given the circumstances. This one seems really easy to work with, leads great, quiet in new situations, so I'm not sure why you would want to do it for this horse specifically, but might as well. I mean, they want to put the effort in, might as well put the effort in. And mysteriously, the horse is no longer in the back of the trailer, so I'm going to assume he's now tied up to the front, and there's just a lead rope sitting in the back of the trailer for her to grab so she can bring the horse out. So remember that when we pulled over to take that rest, the horse was tied in the back of the trailer with a hay bag in the back by his lead rope. Now, mysteriously, the horse is, I assume, tethered in the front of the trailer with a trailer tie because she had to pick up the lead rope. So he must not have a lead rope on. So I assume he's tied with a trailer tie. That's how I tie mine, so that is perfectly normal. In the front of the trailer with his hay bag in the front of the trailer because you can't see him from here. And or there's somebody standing in the front of the trailer holding him. That actually is quite likely in this show, because I don't think that this girl actually has much horse experience. So they don't account for why the horse moved. I'm sure that it moved just for convenience of this of this scene here, but doesn't make any sense that that would happen in real life. If you tie the horse to the back of the trailer, you're going to leave it for the back of the trailer through your entire drive, especially since they didn't unload in the middle of the drive. And then the lead rope sitting on the back of the trailer like that, you would never ever do that, because when you drive and move that trailer around, it's not going to stay there. It's just going to get under the horse's feet, could potentially cause harm to the horse and definitely harm to your lead rope. So you would always take your lead rope up with you in the truck or somewhere else safe, not just leave it laying on the floor in the back of the trailer. Alright, she's gonna turn him around and walk him out. She's holding him pretty tight, but nothing wrong with that. Not how I personally would lead a horse off the trailer, but she wants to be very certain he's gonna walk off really slowly and quietly. Which makes sense. She doesn't know the horse and she's not super confident around horses, so she doesn't want to open up any option for trouble. He just put a whole bale of hay in this horse's stall. That's completely unrealistic. Yes, you might put an entire small bale like that in a horse's stall if you're intending to free feed it, but you would never just plop it down and leave it. You would put it in a corner, take all the strings off, and then put the hay there. Most likely in a hay bag so it doesn't get completely wasted as the horse walks around its stall and trashes it. But leaving those strings on like he just did can be extremely dangerous. The horse can chew on the strings, they can't digest them, so they get in their intestines and can get them all tangled up, cause them to colic with a twisted colon, which is a surgical type of colic. It's not going to fix itself on its own, especially when you have twine wrapped around the guts, which can happen. So that part's totally unrealistic. Other thing is this horse, I'm pretty sure, is being fed something through these bars here to keep it over there, so it's not over by the door bothering the actors. I just really don't think the actors are horse savvy at all. They have this very calm, great horse that they're using for this movie, and they have people helping make sure that the horse is never given an opportunity to do anything that could require the actors to push the horse away or tell the horse what to do in any kind of situation. There's always somebody there directing the horse so that he's quiet and kind, and the actors can do their scene without really interacting with him. And also, if you put a bale of hay in a horse's stall for them, they're gonna go over to that hay right away. Only reason I don't think he did was, again, because somebody's feeding him something through the window to keep him from going over there. Alright guys, and that is the conclusion. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed it, and I can't wait to get into the rest of the episode in a future video. I hope you guys are having a great day, enjoying this winter holiday season, and I shall see you guys all next time. Alright, bye.